Okay, off man. Again, we'll like to break it down into segments. When we talk about off man, we'll talk first about alignment on the wide receiver, and then we'll go to stance. Then we'll talk about eyes, talk about their pedal. Then we'll talk about cushion and also the leverage, and then we'll talk about break. And then again, the last thing we'll always talk to them is about finishing. Okay, as far as the alignment, our alignment here is when we're playing off man, we like to have inside leverage. So the defensive back will line him up at 6 to 7 yards deep. He'll be 1 yard inside the wide receiver that he's covering. And we line him up inside is because we like to try to protect the easy throw. We want him to keep inside leverage and try to protect the easy throw and try to make them throw the ball outside. We just think throwing the ball inside is a high percentage throw. If they throw it outside, it's a lower percentage throw, and that's why we want to try to force them to throw the ball. That's why we encourage the guys to play off man with inside leverage. As far as his stance, it's going to be shoulder width apart, okay, which we have here. Again, we'll have a good heel-toe relationship with inside foot back, slight bend at the knees, at the waist. Again, we'll have the weight slightly forward to the balls of our feet, and then we'll have our chest out over our feet, eyes up. Now, as far as our eyes, initially before the ball snap, it could be done one of two ways, to where the defensive back totally focuses on the receiver, or you can read through the three-step, which we encourage our guys to do here. And that means the eyes of the corner will actually be on the quarterback, and he'll be looking to read to see if it's a three-step drop or a five-step drop. If he gets a three-step drop, he'll know he can settle and come to a control pedal, be ready to drive on any of the short underneath routes. If the quarterback gives him a five-step drop, now he knows that he can continue in his pedal and ready to play the deeper routes according to the quarterback's drop. So he has a great alignment, great stance. His eyes have to be in the right place too, and not only on the three-step, five-step. Once he reads three-step, his eyes will go back to the number one receiver. And as soon as that quarterback clears the three-step drop, now his eyes will go back to the wide out, and now it'll be focused right there on the inside hip of that wide out. The next thing we'll talk about is also the pedal. So you'll see as we start, his eyes will be inside. Right now, we actually get a five-step drop. So now, once that quarterback clears the three-step, now the defensive back eye should immediately pop back to the number one receiver, the receiver that he's covering. Again, we talk about eyes. His eyes will be focused on the inside hip of that wide receiver. The next thing we'll talk about is the pedal. Okay, his pedal, he needs to have a good start. His weight will transfer to that right foot. He'll be stepping with his left foot first. And again, his first couple steps will be slow with the read because he's reading through the three-step. Once the quarterback goes to the three-step, he'll pick his pedal up, and now he'll try to keep as much cushion and leverage as he possibly can. The cushion, when we talk about cushion, we like to make sure that we'll open up on that wide receiver. If he threatens me within about 2 to 3 yards, I got to make sure that I open up and stay over the top of the route. As far as cushion, I want to keep my 1 yard inside leverage on the wide receiver, keeping my advantage to try to make the ball be thrown outside. Here, in this situation here, defensive back does a great job. Once he breaks his cushion, he feels threatened in that 2 to 3 yard area. His eyes are still focused on the inside hip, on the hip of that wide out. And the reason we focus on the hips, because when that wide out decides to break those hips down, we have a good indicator that he's about to break the route off. Here, hips come down. Now we've got to be ready to throttle down and match the steps of the wide out, which defensive back does here. Hips break down, ours break down, we plant, drive, back to the ball. And again, it's all about the finish. Once we plant, drive, we got to put ourselves in a good position to finish. As we plant and drive, we want to make sure we drive to that upfield shoulder. Defensive back here is probably just a tad inside, needs to be a little more outside shoulder here. So once that ball comes, he'll be ready to anchor, and shoot here to get that ball out. See the back leverage here. Again, good stance. His eyes are back at the quarterback. Again, you'll see a good idea of where his eyes should be. Good stance, good start. As soon as he reads through the 3 steps, his eyes pop back to the number 1 receiver. The receiver tries to stem him up and get vertical. He does a nice job of staying inside. Receiver breaks his cushion, opens. His hips drop. He sees the hips drops. Plant, drive. Okay, again, good stance, good start. As you can see, his helmet is looking back inside. As soon as the quarterback goes through the 3-step, eyes go back to the wideouts, doing a great job of keeping his leverage, does a great job of keeping his cushion. Good job in transition. Once I turn over, I want to plant that inside foot, and then my outside foot as it goes. I want to make sure I get that lead step in the ground as quick as I can. And now he straight lines it to keep his leverage and keep his cushion. Now, once he sees it's a vertical route, he'll keep his eyes on the wide out. Now, once the wide out progresses through that 15-yard area, now my eyes can not only be low, they can actually come high to find the ball. He's in position, he's in phase, locking that hip. Now he's going to look up, not back, to find the ball and get it out. See it here? Again, eyes, good, nice job of weaving to keep his leverage. Opens up, nice job, and now he's want to squeeze, lock the hip, find the ball. And again, he wants to look up, not back, and find that ball. Good stance, good start. Okay, now this is a good example of him keeping his vision in the right place. Good stance, good start. His eyes are low, sees the hips of the wideout break down. Hip wideout does a great job of selling it here. But again, once he drives and breaks, he wants to drive and break on that upfield shoulder. As he drives to break on that upfield shoulder, the receiver actually gives him a double move here. And because he didn't break underneath the route and breaks to the outside shoulder, he puts himself in great position to play the out and up, which he does here. And again, the only thing he wants to do is try to make sure he locks hip with that receiver. Still has a little bit of separation here. Probably like to cut down that air a little more and squeeze that receiver outside the fade line to the sidelines and give him as less room as possible to catch the ball. Nice job there. Good job with the footwork. Nice job on the plant and break. He keeps everything within the framework of his body. Plant, drive. Great job with his vision. Great job there. Once he's in phase, he can look and find the ball. He's as much as a receiver, as much as his ball as the receiver's ball once that ball's in the air. Again, like I said from the other view, the only thing I would like him see him do here is cut down that space, cut down that air between him and the wide out, because he's still giving the wide out a little room to catch the ball. He like to go lock that hip, squeeze, and squeeze that receiver to the sidelines. Okay, nice job here reading through the 3-step. Good with that nice read step here. Eyes go back to the wide out. Probably goes back to the wide out a little bit quick here, but we fill the 3-step, plant, drive on the route. Great job of cutting it off. Probably here with leverage, probably like to be a little bit more inside than he is. But the thing that he does, he makes up for it with his weave initially as the ball is snapped. Great vision. Eyes go there. Again, once he gets in position, he can look back, find the ball. Great job there.